Physical media is an art form that has long been lost to modern technology. And I'm not here to bash on modern technology because, the Swiss Army knife, multi-tool approach of our phones are very convenient. Let's not get that twisted. You've got every amenity you could ever imagine just in your pocket at all times. I mean, when am I ever going to need a compass? Like, I live in the middle of a big city. I don't need a compass, but it's there if I ever need it. But to keep this Swiss Army knife metaphor going, you would never use a Swiss Army knife to cut a steak. You'd end up hacking at your food, and before you know it, it's ruined. You can't eat that steak anymore because would it destroy the flavor? It could probably destroy the texture, right? The texture would be all weird. Would it dry it out? Who cares? Whatever. I'm taking this too far. Point is, a Swiss Army knife is not as effective as an actual steak knife or anything like that, And along these same lines, I think moving away from the multi-tool approach of our smartphone to listen to music, to send texts, all the things it can do, moving away from that and allowing yourself to enjoy physical media is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And I think when experiences become less disposable, they become far more enriching. Mail takes time to arrive at their destination, whereas texts take none. CDs take time to find, buy, bring home, put in their player, whereas loading up your Spotify and putting on a playlist takes no time. Nothing compares to the feeling of writing a letter to a loved one, agonizing over every word because you can't send a follow-up text saying, oops, typo, and using your absolute best handwriting, even finding little trinkets to put in the letter to give them even a piece of your life from wherever you're writing from, knowing that every word, every letter that you put on this page matters. Physical media demands a level of intention that your smartphone just can't replicate. I've got nearly 11,000 songs saved on my Spotify, and that's great. It's so convenient. I have a whole music library at my fingertips. But if I said I played even 100 of these songs every month, 100 different songs each month, I would be lying. I just play the same songs over and over again, and it's because it's habit. It's because I'm not being intentional with what I consume. And I think the musician, that whoever I'm listening to, they deserve more respect than just being background noise while I cook my dinner. I'm not really listening to the music. And I find that because we have such convenience at the tip of our fingers at all times, we only end up living halfway. No one has an album, an art piece, anything that they could talk for hours on end for. We consume so much at such a rate that we don't even have time to dwell on what we're listening to, what we're seeing, to really understand the artist's intention, to dissect the art, and try to ascribe some personal meaning to this album, this song, whatever it might be. The process of sorting through hundreds of vinyls in a shop, finding the one, buying it, taking it home, dusting it off, putting it in your record player, and finally getting to hear the music that you've been imagining the whole way home. Nothing compares to that feeling. This intention is the least amount of respect that the artist deserves from you as the consumer. Now, even putting aside my personal beliefs on how you should respect art and give it the time that it deserves, I really believe that physical media is probably the best way to renew your enjoyment of any art form. And I speak about music because that's by far my favourite. And I love sitting down and dissecting albums and etc, etc. I also believe that this can apply to any art form because I often feel jaded by the infinite supply of music that I have. That's great, I enjoy it, but it's easy to become jaded in a world of algorithms, and Spotify knows that this is your favourite song, so now they're going to push it in your face for the next week until you hate it. And the cycle continues until, where are you getting these favourite songs from anymore? I feel like so often with how much music I listen to, I can never satisfy my constant demand for the next new song. But even at my most jaded, I always want to find time to go to the CD shop, go to the record shop, and physically dig through all the boxes that they have of CDs to find CDs that I've never heard of. The other day I bought this. It's Darker Than Blue, Soul from Jam Down. And I like soul music. And I saw Soul and I was like, okay, cool. Let me buy that. So I got it. I looked on the back. There's literally not a single artist that I've ever heard of on the back of here. So I thought, great, I can use this to find new artists that may lead me to find other new artists and new genres and etc, etc. And if you're expecting a happy ending, unfortunately there is not one for this one. I didn't realize it's a album compilation of soul music that is covered by reggae artists, and you know, obviously they put their own reggae spin on it. And sadly, reggae is just one of the few genres that I have never clicked with. So this one has been a disappointment. But that's not to say that the process of finding the CD, putting it in my record player and, you know, really digesting, sitting down for a minute and really taking in what, maybe I don't enjoy the songs, but oh, that's a nice sound. That's interesting. This is something new. This is a palate cleanser, if you will. And added bonus, I get to go outside. I get to go outside and find a CD instead of laying in bed scrolling through Spotify to see what they're going to shove in my face next. You know? Touching grass has never been so easy. And I'm talking about physical media, and I'm by no means saying that I'm immune to the grip of modern technology. I mean, quite the opposite. I am hopelessly glued to my phone. Even walking through the streets, I find myself subconsciously every 10 seconds reaching for my phone to see what's going on. I'm like, it's really bad. But the point is, I really believe that dumbing everything down for the sake of convenience is making us lonely. And that's a bit of a whiplashy U-turn. But minimalism, you know, having one phone for everything, every convenience that you need in a day, having one thing, this minimalistic way of living is anti-human. And while technology and its convenience is completely inescapable in our modern age, you can so easily do justice to your own humanity by reconnecting with these simple physical pleasures, you know, writing a letter, playing a CD, etc. The list goes on. And increasingly every day I want to try and live with intention, you know, listen to what my body is telling me, what my brain is saying every time I reach to grab my phone, and really understand what I want to do in this moment and what's gonna make me happy instead of what I've just been stuck doing for the last week, for the last month, whatever it is. You know, living with intention and really reconnecting with what I enjoy and what I want to spend my life doing, because what you spend your days doing is what you're gonna spend your life doing. So listen, if there's one thing you take away from today, live with intention. And honestly, if you've got a bit of money left over, invest in a CD player, invest in a vinyl player, whatever it might be. Invest in physical media of some sort. And I promise you, you will love it. It will be so enriching to your life. And honestly, putting a CD in my player, it makes me feel so sophisticated. And actually, also, I found that streaming services like Spotify, the sound is so compressed, and it's kind of nerdy, but like the low end, the low end, the middle frequencies and the high frequencies, they're all very like squished together on streaming services. You know, the drums are super close with the vocals, with the melody, etc, etc. And that's cool. It's a clean feel. It feels nice. It feels very polished. Sterile even. But on a CD player, for example, I got an Ella Fitzgerald CD, and the guitar, her vocals, the drums are so separate, like you can hear them so individually, and I'm just saying, it's a different experience. It's different to what you are used to on your Spotify. So even just from that aspect, I can really recommend physical media and CD players and all of that. So yeah, this is something I've been thinking about a lot. You know, the ability for physical media to do something so simple, but make us feel human again. Feel like we're not completely living our life through our mobile phones. So yeah, that's all for today. Peace and love, and live with intention is the message I want to say to the world. It's important to not sleepwalk through your life. Cool. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. Have a good day, have a good weekend, whatever it might be. Have a good sleep. Bye.